Do it again. Damn right. They're killing us in these streets, you know? Yeah, man, this shit crazy. Let's ride. Let's get it. My heart goes out to all of my brothers who been shot by the cops, can't trust the undercovers. Cold-blooded the way they did Demetrius Stanley. Shot him in front of his own home with his family. Innocent black man killed once again. To the hands of these crooked cops, they ain't your friend. Hunters down, they bloodthirsty men. Guns down, walk free and they win. They killing us like George Floyd. Put a knee to your neck while they hold you down. You can't run, they'll gun you down if you drive away like Andrew Brown. Same way they did Matthew Williams. He had a knife, but they ain't have to kill him. Lied on him, say he lunged at him. He tried to flee, they shot their guns at him. It ain't gotta be nighttime, it can be broad daylight. Get out your car, try to get back in, they'll kill you like Dante Wright. If you think cops like us, they don't, they hate us with all they might. When they pull you over, guns drawn, finger on trigger, they don't play fight. Nah, they don't play right, they don't give a fuck about witnesses. Gotta really show them what the business is. Why they out here killing kids, and we see what it really is. Got me losing my appetite, and the bitches harassing you at the light. When you think you gon' die, then it's fight or flight. That's what happened to Rodney Applewhite. Tired of these cops killing us, every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, when you turn on the news they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, in broad daylight they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, they killing us, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, when you turn on the news they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, in broad daylight they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, they killing us, they killing us. Never will understand. We living in fear, we kill every day because they got the upper hand. They murdered another man, yeah, his name Joshua Feast. Kicking his body, he lay in the streets. It's the belly of the beast. That's why we say fuck the police. Fuck 'em. Crooked cops stay stalking. Kurt Reinhold murdered for jaywalking. Damn. Pull me over, I hand you my gun license. I ain't doing no talking. Yeah. Justice for McHale Rose, murdered by police at 19 years old. They said he had burglarized some place, but that was a lie. Let the story be told. They live by it, they gon' die by it. Understand what I really mean. Shoot a nigga while he handcuffed in a seat belt that was really green. Patiently waiting for the Lord's vengeance. In the UPK, we got the illest team. All devils, they must die. Cut their heads off with a guillotine. Right. AJ Crones and Sincere Peers, y'all gon' learn who they are. That's right. The cops massacred these two young brothers and shot at their car. These devils can't help us, it's my solution, let's not pretend. We begin to police our own neighborhoods, we must defend and bring these homicides to an end. Tired of these cops killing us, every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, when you turn on the news they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, in broad daylight they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, they killing us, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, when you turn on the news they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, in broad daylight they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, they killing us, they killing us. All
right, clap it up, clap it up. Shalom, we the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Tonight is Tuesday night, Brotherhood class in Houston, Texas. I'm Priest and Officer Dewari Allah. To my right is Priest and Officer Ron. And we're gonna get straight to it, you know, like that song that kicked it off is a fitting song because, you know, they kill us and they hold themselves not guilty.
Right.
These oppressors and these devils and these other nations, we get slain in the street. We get literally robbed every day in our neighborhoods, castrated, you know what I'm saying, emasculated. You know, our women is made masculine. You know, they do all this to turn us upside down, and then they lie to us every day and act like, you know, we all friends and everybody should love everybody. And you know, the justice system is getting better and they working towards a better system, but they not doing nothing but lying. And they killing us in the streets because it's a whole system of oppression designed to keep us at the bottom of all these other nations. And it's sanctioned by the Lord because we went against him and disobeyed him and broke the commandments. You know, our forefathers and foremothers, they kept you know, they strayed away from keeping the law. And we going through these curses as a result of it right now. Is there any questions in the room before we get started? I know about yours, sis. We gonna get to that. Okay. If I could, let me get the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 3. Baba Kashah, sir.
Con. There's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 3. The integrity of the upright.
The integrity of the upright. So it's talking now. We're talking about integrity. Who can tell me what integrity is? What about you, King? What's integrity? Integrity. What's that? You know what that is? You don't know? That's okay. That's why you in class. All right. What about you, sis? We got any mics? Is the mics working? Like,
It's like what you do when nobody knowledge. I know the exact definition, but it's what you do when nobody knowledge.
what you? Okay, now you're right. You getting hot now. You getting hotter. Morals, right? Morals is in the same realm of integrity. What you do when someone is not looking, that's a good principle or a good example to hold you to, what I'm saying, having integrity. But let's look it up and get the actual definition too. Let's look it up. We got these Google machines. Got your Apple. You ask Siri and Alexa and Cortana and
Right.
you ask them everything else. Let's see what integrity is. Because integrity is something that's very, very critical to have a strong nation. Integrity is something that we strayed away from as a people, and as a result, we look down upon by all these other nations. We look down upon by one another too. That's why a lack of integrity is why people view us as super predators. And people they say, they lock their doors when we walk by, or they clutch their purse. You know what I'm saying? That's because of integrity. Somebody got that? Kind of. If not, I can pull it up.
Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness.
Moral uprightness. Is the mic on? I don't know if they heard you. Did you hold it?
Like when you say, hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness.
Moral uprightness. The quality of being what?
Of being honest.
The quality of being honest. And that's why the title of this class is Keep It a Buck, because one of the hardest things for people to do is just be honest. Think about what do women say in their relationships all the time? I just want you to be honest. I just want you to tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And a lot of times, we as men that, what I'm saying, men with integrity, that's, in the truth, we be honest. We be brutally honest with our women sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's so they feel slighted by the honesty. But you would much prefer that man to be honest than him to be lying in the streets, telling you one thing. That's how you got all these what they call them. It's a term in the world they got for the gay men that be with a woman. Right, down low. Right. The down low is a homosexual without integrity. Right. That's what it is. That's just another name for it. He can't be honest that he's a homosexual with the woman, and he's potentially putting her at risk, just like he putting himself at risk. All the stuff that come with going against the Lord. We ain't got to get into no details on that. But like you was right, like you said, moral uprightness, the quality of having morals. That's what it's about. And these morals is what keep us together as a family. Like, we got to recognize Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our families is destroyed because we don't have integrity. We lack integrity as a nation. We lack integrity to do the right thing. We lack integrity. That's why you got the uncle that's sitting next to you at the damn holidays that's molesting. You got all these people in the church keeping quiet about what the pastor doing because there's no integrity amongst those people. You got to hold yourself to a moral standard, and that's what these scriptures offer us. They are moral code. They much more than that, but at the heart of them, it's a moral compass to guide our nation. Because one thing that always bothered me too is like you get these uppity, you get these conscious community people, and they talk about generational wealth is the key to fixing our problems. Generational wealth. But tell me this: we have billionaires of our nations. Why is nothing changing? The damn black church makes $800 billion. The black church is worth $800 billion.
Right.
And if they were a company, it would be the richest company on the planet. So why are we not any further ahead? Why are we not any further ahead as a people? That's because we're not honest. The black church is stealing our money. Nobody wants to admit and be brutally honest about the fact that church has done nothing for our people but oppress us and indoctrinate us into white supremacy even further. When you look at that picture of that white Jesus, that's the church perpetuating that image, so that you love your oppressors, so that you won't come together with your brothers and sisters. So like, you had something?
No, go ahead.
Got it.
The integrity of the upright shall guide them.
If you could start from the top,
Yes.
I mean, just the chapter and verse.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
The perverseness of transgressors. Who can tell me what that is? What is the perverseness of transgressors? Perverseness of transgressors. Any ideas? Hey, this a class too, so feel free to chime in, raise your hand and be respectful to one another. But everybody here to learn, and a lot of times we don't even recognize that the way that somebody else could ask a question or pose an answer is the way that somebody else may need to hear it too, so that they can understand, because everybody is different and everybody learn different ways. So, don't feel like you can't speak, don't feel like it's a wrong answer either. Go ahead, sis.
Like you said, I had to look it up and not look up. It says it's deliberately deviating from what is good, or in other words, evil.
Deliberately, say it again, sis.
Deliberately deviating from what is good.
A deliberate deviation. A deliberate. Now, what's deliberate mean? Who knows what it means to be deliberate? Go ahead. You ain't got to look this one up.
On purpose.
Purpose. Yeah, you're doing it on purpose. So you purposefully being evil. You purposefully deviating from the right thing. It's like, what's a good? I know you be good with the examples on this type of stuff. What's a good example? I don't want to go too far off with my example.
Just keep it simple, Joe. Let's just use the kids.
Right.
Kids know not to stand up on the table and pull nothing down. And you look at that kid and you say, don't you pull that off the table. And they look back at you.
Right.
They inch their hand closer and closer. They looking at you. They know it's wrong. Don't you pull that off that table. And then they just boom, just pull it down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what perverses mean. They know it's wrong, but they deliberately do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in a kid sense, they they being kids, they being babies. But as far as adults, this is a perfect precept to go with Hebrews 10:26. You know what I'm saying? And that says, if you sin willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth, it remains no more sacrifice for your sin.
Right.
Which means if you continue to sin, like you know that pork is unlawful. Being a homosexual is unlawful. Just as well as being a murderer or a thief is unlawful. And you continue to do it, Christ didn't die for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you suffer severe punishment for all your transgressions. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's all like that.
Hey, if I may, sir, what you're saying is so heavy too, because that perverseness is what our oppressor has.
Right.
Our oppressor is deliberately doing all this evil to us. He's deliberately pushing homosexuality. He's deliberately pushing Planned Parenthood. It's in all aspects of society too. He has a whole system of racism. Like, don't think racism is just white people saying nigga. Like, don't be fooled and think it's just that. Racism is you always getting passed up on that manager's job.
Right.
Like, always. Racism is them always recognizing that, you know what, in your neighborhood, you never gonna own no business.
Right.
But everybody else gonna own a business in your neighborhood. And you can't get a loan. You didn't live in your neighborhood your whole life. You can't get a loan. You been paying taxes on your house. And then what else is racism? Gentrification. Right. Them raising that property value, raising the rent, pushing you out, and bringing their people in. That's racism. Right. It's in everything they do. It's in all aspects of society. And that's because they have a perverse nature. They deliberately doing that to us. And the Lord is allowing them to do that because he wants us to obey him and come together with each other as a nation.
Right. It's like, it's even racism in the punishment of crimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, they may get caught steal something and get 10 years, but you get an oppressor that gunned down a whole street full of people and get off scot-free. You know what I'm saying? You got multi-million-dollar CEOs and directors of athletics for these universities,
right,
getting caught red-handed with molesting little boys and girls,
right,
scot-free,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And us, we don't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? We get the harshest penalties for everything. You know what I'm saying?
And if I could, to add to what you're saying, sir, it's so heavy because, like, what was that? The Clippers owner, Donald Sterling.
Right.
He got caught by his side. He had I don't know if she was an Israelite. He had him a little side piece, or what do they call it, sneaky link, or whatever they saying now. You know, he had him a little sneaky link, but she in front row. She at the game, you know. And then she taped him calling them monkeys, you know, like these damn monkeys and niggas, you know. He taped them, and then she exposed them, put them out there, and what did they do? The players ain't do nothing. They turned their jerseys backwards. Right. Like they was doing something. They still went out there and hooped for that man, but they turned their jerseys inside out. And then what did the league do? The league said, you know what, we're gonna be serious about this. We're gonna ban him forever. But they let his wife take over the team, and he ain't skip a beat and miss no money. He ain't missed nothing. He just can't be there no more.
Right.
Like he really cared to be there.
Right.
He's a damn billionaire. He could be anywhere in the world.
He can run his business from this.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the system that they built. We thinking they did something when they ain't do nothing but just, you know, like we just gotta make it seem like we angry about this because all of them is racist. They wasn't just surprised that day.
Right.
They thought they never met him before.
Right.
they back there with him, saying the same stuff, but he got caught. And they ain't even, you know, he ain't even lose no money out on the deal.
Right, and that's what happened to a lot of the police officers too. You know what I'm saying? They put them on leave with pay.
Right.
Who wants to go to work? You know what I'm saying?
Them boys.
You know, who would not, you know, rather go to work and still get paid?
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave him in absence, but I'll still get 100% of my check. Bet.
Right.
Shoot me another nigga next week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And if I may, sir, what you're saying so heavy, that's what they pushing that. They want them to feel comfortable doing that because that's what they are. That's their job. Their job is to oppress you. Their job is to hunt you. That's what you don't realize. That's their job. That's why they have to let them know, like, y'all can still sign up for this job and oppress niggas and Hispanics and you know, natives. Like, we not stopping y'all from doing that, but we got to make it seem though.
Right.
Like, you know, we gotta have the appearance because that's what all this whole society is built on, appearance.
Like the war on drugs.
Like, you know what one that's real heavy right now that's knocking them across the head is that transgender swimmer. I don't know if y'all know about that transgender swimmer. Right. So it was I don't know his name or whatever they name, but Shim, you know. He was an average swimmer, you know, when he was, you know, competing in the men's league, but then he became a transgender and broke all the Olympic records. He ain't even been to the Olympics. He broke all the women's Olympic records already. He already done broke. They were like by miles ahead. Like, so the women is outraged now. They like, you know what? Something must be done. Right. Something, we got to stop this. But y'all wasn't trying to stop it before. Right. Now that all this foolishness is in your arena now. But see that now they gotta play it out now. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, you know, we gotta treat them equal. But then all right, treat them equal and they jump in your realm. But now they a man now. How they a man when you want them to be a man and a woman when you want them to be a woman? Confused. It's the perverseness. They just perverse and they lying. That's all it is. And now they feeling it. And that's what's gonna happen. The Lord is showing them like, okay, y'all wanna think y'all got it figured out. Okay. Now you ain't gonna know. Like they got little girls training to be Olympics that know like it's no way I can compete with this man. Right. And he was average in the men's. He comes to women's, he already broke all their records. Good night. Is any more in that, sir?
I just want to go to verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead if you want
to. Verse 4: Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
And that's heavy too, because that's exactly what we was just talking about with the conscious community saying that, you know, that generational wealth garbage. You know, like the Jay-Z 444, and we all like, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce a power couple, but I ain't heard you can't overturn the communities that y'all from. What did Beyonce do for Houston? What did Jay-Z do for New York? If they can't do it, then how is generational wealth the key? How is that going to change anything for us? Right. If we could, let me get Proverbs 12 and 22, Baba Kashab.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord.
Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. Everybody in here, you've made it to the home of the truth. This is the home of the truth. Being in the truth doesn't mean you're gonna have an easy life. Being in the truth means that you walking in the path of light. Like that's why you got light and you got darkness. You got a lot of similitudes in the scriptures about that. In darkness, you don't know, like if you walking in the dark room, you don't know what you're looking at. But when you walking in a room that's illuminated, you can see everything for what it is. And that's what you see. That's what you get here. You're not gonna get what you get in the Christian church. You're not gonna get that, you know what, God loves everybody. You're not gonna get a lie that sounds good. You're gonna get the truth of what it is. The reality is that we was all in the world and we was all sinners and we all deserved to die. Right. But we all changed our life because we recognized we was doing wrong. We recognize that we don't got control over nothing that's going on right now. We recognize that the Lord is guiding everything that's happening right now. And we recognize that we need to obey the Lord to make him want to turn and help us get up out of this condition. Like they call us a hate group like all the time, and we on all the damn hate. The KKK ain't even on the damn Southern Poverty Law Center on thing. And they hanging people. And people getting discovered to be KKK Klansmen all the time. Like it was just an article I just read that said they found 2 new politicians that's KKK people. The FBI was doing they infiltrated the KKK and found, a few politicians in there. But that's not a surprise to us because we know that racism is in all of this.
Right, yeah, they on the Southern Poverty Law.
Oh, they on there?
Yeah, they on
Yeah,
there.
they but they still they not putting them politicians' names out.
Right.
They got they got Officer Malakwaf's name on them. I seen they got Kahangabar's name on them. His brothers in the school. They got these brothers is on some I forget what it's called, some type of little the Jewish people got a whole, but they not talking about the damn people that's enacting the laws and changing policies in your neighborhood that affect you. That's known murderers. They out there lynching brothers. Salaki, so you had something you wanted to add, sir? I know you got something, sir. Come on. But yeah, that's why they call them devils. That's why the scriptures call them devils. Because devil just mean deceiver.
Right.
That's all. Devil don't mean that they a fiery demon that live under the ground. Devil mean deceiver. But you was taught the Bible by your oppressors. So they made it into a damn Disney production. That's what happened. You was taught this yo holy Bible, which translates to separate records. Holy meaning separate or set apart, and Bible coming from the word biblios, which means records. How is some records that's separate and set apart for everybody?
Right.
In the very nature of the name, it's not for everybody. But your oppressor told you that everybody, the Bible for everybody.
Right.
And that you need to be a good slave and show up to work and be an essential worker, and make sure that you keep their money flowing in so that they can stay in their kingdom and take them Uber helicopters and have their wife take over their billion-trillion-dollar companies, and they don't miss anything. But you just continue to be a damn slave.
Right, because they don't make no hoopla about the Quran. They don't make no hoopla about the Book of the Dead. They don't make no hoopla about what they call it, the Roman Catholic book. Well, they use it Bible,
right.
But whatever they use,
they using just they winging it.
Right, you know what I'm saying? They don't make no hoopla to try to control people with those books. Right. But with the Holy Bible, the Holy Records, they try to use it, you know what I'm saying, as their own and try to control everybody else. Because they know what it is. They know the power that lies within it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they try to manipulate it.
Right.
That's why they teach, these Christian pastors, you know what I'm saying, a false way of understanding it, so they can teach it to us. You know what I'm saying? But here in I.S.U.P.K, we've deciphered the truth. You know what I'm saying? Right.
And that's heavy what you're saying too, because if you know about that movie with that Book of Eli,
right?
That was the main thing he was trying to do.
Right,
he was like, man, I need that book. That's what that's why they kept the book, so that they could manipulate it and try to weaponize it against us.
Right.
But that's how you know it's the Lord too, because the Lord brought you. You got the book translated from the Greek and from the Aramaic and from the Hebrew, or else we wouldn't know nothing about it if it wasn't translated. King James, a black man, he got it translated by those scholars at the time, and now we able to read it and read it with the lens of truth, because we learned it from the real priests and prophets of the Lord.
Right.
You might have came here and you might have got here from a fake Israelite group who, you know what I'm saying, who heard the breakdowns that came from One West. That's where it all started at, One West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. So essentially, it still came from the priests and prophets of the Lord, no matter how you heard it and how you got here. And that's only the Lord could do that. Like, get a Lord a hand. Get a Lord a hand for that. Because we would be in darkness right now. We wouldn't know. You would still think you was black. You would still think you were Puerto Rican. You would still think you Mexican. You still think you a Native American. How you would call the Native American when it wasn't called America? You like, they don't make sense.
Right. Your
identity, everything that you do is based off of them. Like, that's what you got to recognize. Your existence in this kingdom and society has to be validated by your oppressor. If your oppressor don't stamp it, they're not gonna agree to it. Like, you look at all the brothers and all the, like Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon got a look like somebody said something to Nick Cannon. He came out and said the real Jews is black, and they snatched everything from that brother. Mm-hmm. They done took his.
They done snatched. They dangled it over his head like,
yeah.
You better get right, boy. Or we taking all this from you.
Right.
Talking about within a day or two.
I don't think he had a day.
He came back and was like, "Hey, look here,
I messed
scratch
up.
what I said."
Right. He came back with he recanted so quick, and that'll let you know too that this walk ain't for everybody.
Right.
This walk, everybody, like, he rich. You would think it'd be easy for him to do this. How hard? Like, you all set up. It's brothers in here in this truth living under bridges in Chicago in the winter, and they still able to walk out and say the white man is the devil.
That's right.
And still able to walk out and say that they the real Jews. So that lets you know that this ain't nothing. You can't prepare for this other than being chosen by the Lord, and the Lord didn't choose him, and that's all it was. Salaki. It's some more in that one.
Con. But they that deal truly are his delight.
Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his light. Like the Lord is not, you know what I'm saying? The Lord don't deal with you if just because you got a mega church. Because you know what they doing in that mega church? Putting money in the walls.
Right.
Putting money in the walls.
And reporting it stolen.
And reporting it's right. They doubling up. They doubling up. They doubling it up. Like that's how your oppressor do. And our people would rather listen to the oppressor than listen to the truth. Because we not telling you what you want to hear. We just giving you the truth. It's like, I don't know, man, I don't want to go too far on this because I could talk about this. I don't know if people seen that new Matrix. Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw it, man.
Oh my God.
I ain't like it.
Yeah, as you shouldn't, because they just made a transgender Matrix, basically. They just made a whole, and what's like, I'm gonna touch on it briefly. The original 3 Matrixes, a black woman was battling the 2 brothers at the time about the rights to it because she wrote it and said they stole it from her. She said they stole it from her. She was like an up and coming writer, I think at like UC Berkeley or something, one of them California schools, and they stole it and they made the Matrix. And then it was just like what we knew today. Them 2 brothers both became women. They both transformed into transgenders. They was brothers. They was the Wachowski brothers. Now they the Wachowski sisters. They both turned into transgenders. And then this Matrix was the first Matrix that one of the sisters made. And you could tell because it has no substance. It's nothing but a bunch of gay people in there running around. And it don't mean nothing. And you know, they did that. Like, what's the I don't know what the probability of 2 brothers both becoming women. Like,
Right.
They recognized that they wanted to be that black woman. That's what it was. That sister was, you know, the Lord used her to make that. You know, she made that, and they recognized that they can't do nothing. They just some oppressor. They tried to turn into women, and you know what? Maybe we could become her and make a Matrix too. And this is what they made, and that Matrix is so garbage.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'll never see it again. Like, I'll never have to see it again. And that's the whole premise of the Matrix. The choice of the truth or a lie. You know, you could choose to be in the Matrix and believe a lie, or you could wake up to the harsh truth of reality and recognize you in a war.
Right.
You in a war, because that's what they were. They was in a war against the machines. You wake up and you realize you won. And that's what you do here. You wake up and you realize you're in a war with these other nations. You wake up and realize, damn, they really have been oppressing us. They really have. They really do run our neighborhoods. We really do get gunned down every day. It really isn't safe for me to just let my 13-year-old son walk out not knowing that they may kill him.
Right.
You in a whole different world than them. And that's what being in the truth is. You recognize what this really is and what this is really about. And you recognize that the Lord did this because he wants us to rule. Right. But we're not going to rule being liars. We're not going to rule being like them. So you asking?
Yeah, but it's crazy how, you know, we teach our children versus how they teach their children. You know, we teach our sons, you know what I'm saying, to look both ways before you cross the street. They don't teach their children that. They teach their children that they own the street and people better stop when I cross the street. You know what I'm saying? Just look at how they drive. They'll just pull out in front of you, no blinker, and look at you crazy like you're supposed to get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why? Because, I mean, even if their car get damaged, they got money. Okay, the insurance take care of it. Yeah, I'll let my dad handle it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Versus us, now you get one day like, hey, I have to push the light bill back one more week, so I ain't gonna pay this deductible because I gotta go to work because it's the only car I got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we teach preventive measures. You know what I'm saying? They teach their sons just to live and to own and to rule. You know what I'm saying? We have guidelines, you know what I'm saying, that we teach our kids so they won't get into situations to where they're, either being punished or where they're, you know what I'm saying, coming to a spot to where they can't defend themselves or they get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like we teach our children how to, you know what I'm saying, operate with how to respond to cops. You know what I'm saying? How to treat them. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see some, a person get pulled over, they talk to him crazy. What the hell you pull me over for?
Right.
I was not fucking slacking. I was not freaking speeding. Blah, blah, just give me the damn ticket and let me go.
Right.
We teach our son, don't even frown at him. Why? Because your blood is going to be on that street. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's going home. Right. Like I work at a facility, man, to where, you know what I'm saying, a juvenile facility, when you go inside the court, on this side, nothing but white kids. On this side, nothing but black and Hispanic kids. And then at the end of the day, at the end of that court, all the white kids that were sitting on this side, they walk out with their lawyers. All them black and Hispanic kids on this side, they get detained and go to detention centers. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? These people don't have nothing to fear. Right. They have no worries. You know what I'm saying? I remember a case where a white kid, I think he ran over somebody. You know what I'm saying? So they charged him like with manslaughter or something.
Right, happening daily.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't get no charges because, you know what I'm saying, he said he didn't know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? He was a privileged kid. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know right from wrong. And he wouldn't fit inside of you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't fit inside of a detention center. Like he would, I guess, go crazy or whatever. But us, you get caught walking on the sidewalk where a construction site at, they hit you for trespassing. Now you sitting in court, sitting in jail for 2-3 months, and they just keep resetting your court date just to keep you there. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sir.
No, you got it. What you're saying is so heavy too, because like they literally are the real mass shooters. They the ones doing all the shooting, but they don't get killed at the end of them shootings. Like, how do you do a mass shooting and not be killed, and then a brother get pulled over for a traffic violation and get murdered regularly? How can you make sense of that? Like, there is no way to make sense of it other than they like the scriptures, what the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? They hold themselves not guilty. They hunt our steps. They kill us and hold themselves not guilty. Salakia. What was we at? We still at Proverbs? On what? Proverbs 12?
12:22. Yeah, we just finished it.
If we could, let's get John 8:32. Because the whole, like, the scriptures, like, you said something else too that was heavy. Like, we train our children differently. We train our children differently, but that's because the scriptures tell us to.
Right.
The scriptures say to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Like, the scriptures say to live peaceably amongst the other nations if you can, because we're not them. We don't operate like us. Succeeding is us adhering to the word of the Lord, not doing what they do. Like, we can't overcome them by doing what they do. We can't try to build a bigger military. Like, what's that group? The
NFAC.
Yeah, the NFAC. We can't try to get everybody and put an AR-15 in their hand and think we finna take the country from them. Think we finna take the world back. That's not how we topple this empire. We topple this empire by following after the blueprint that Christ left us.
Right.
We obey the Lord and we come together. Like, it's that simple. We separate from them spiritually. And in doing that, naturally, we make everything great here. Nobody wants to eat damn bland turkey. Nobody wants to watch damn Ronda Rousey fight whoever. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to see the white women who Serena Williams have been beating forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Compete. Nobody wants to see that. So us separating from them means that we everybody gonna follow us.
Right.
Like you don't even need the scriptures to know that. The scriptures say that, but you don't even need it. You can see it in society. We had Black Wall Street. They bombed it because we was over there. They knew if left alone to do our own thing, that we would succeed and surpass them. They knew that. So they dropped bombs on Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right. This is Book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Everybody hear this saying all the time, not knowing that it's in the scriptures, not knowing that the truth is that the white man is the devil.
Right.
Like everybody saying this all the time, not knowing that the truth is you the chosen children of the Lord. You the ones that all you got to do is listen to your father, and he gonna look out for you. Every good father wants to reward their child. You only punish your child because you want to make sure that they don't make that mistake again. You want them to understand the severity of making this mistake. Right. Like you see your kid playing at an outlet with a damn fork, you're gonna beat that kid. You're gonna make them realize that they never got to do that again because you may not be there one day. And you walk back and your child is just laying there dead.
Right.
And that's what the Lord doing to us. We getting punished so severely right now because he's telling us like, hey, you better listen to what I'm saying because if you don't, it's gonna kill you.
Right.
If you don't, you're gonna be punished. Because if I just let you just do it, all of us would be dead. Like all of us would be dead. Like when the scriptures say like he sent his only begotten son, like Christ was perfect.
Right.
Like you think he wanted to lose Christ? Like Christ was like, man, it's like, man, I got the one good kid that listens to everything I say. Do you really want to lose that kid? As a parent, it's like, man, you don't want to lose none of your kids, but if I gotta lose them, not this one. If I gotta lose, I don't want to lose no kids, but if I got to lose one of them, don't let it be this one. And the Lord did that for us. The Lord gave us the one who listened, and Christ did that for us too. Christ was like, he knew that we needed him. He did that, so he was like, he did that so that the Lord could save us, so that we would have a. So all of us is alive right here. Like we are, like everybody in this room, everybody not. I know I celebrated a Christmas as another man before. I didn't know about Thanksgiving. I didn't know Thanksgiving was about the genocide of my brothers and sisters. I thought it was about family. I thought it was about coming together. But Christ died so that the Lord would forgive us for that.
Right.
That's why Christ died. And we spit in his face by saying, like the Christian church saying, Christ, I got the blood of Jesus on me, and I could just be a homosexual. I could just eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. I could just celebrate Thanksgiving. You could just do what you want here. The YOLO.
Right. And if you knew the truth, you wouldn't even plead the blood of Jesus on you. Because if you know what that was, that's a curse. You know what I'm saying? That's what those people when they had, what was the name, Barabbas?
Yeah, Barabbas.
Barabbas and Christ up there, and Pilate asked the people,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Who should, I'm gonna give y'all one. Who y'all want to take, and the other one I'm gonna kill. You know what I'm saying? So they took Barabbas. Hey, man, we want Barabbas. Bring Barabbas. Kill Christ. And Pilate was like, well, he ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all want me to kill an innocent man? You know what I'm saying? I don't want the blood to be on my hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what the crowd say? Let the blood be on our children and our children's children. So Christ is innocent. They was putting Christ's innocent blood because innocent blood is gonna be avenged,
right,
by the Lord.
Right.
So put that burden on our children and our children's children, but give us him and kill Christ. You know what I'm saying? So when you plead the blood of Jesus over yourself, you're putting a curse over yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not a covering. If you want to cover yourself, just say, Lord, watch over me.
Yeah, how was Shamar? Right.
Plain and goddamn simple.
And if I may, sir, what you're saying so heavy, that same curse is the curse that's on all of us right now.
Right.
That's the curses we going through right now. They said that them people that said let the blood be on the kids was our forefathers and foremothers. which is why that blood is on us right now, which is why George Floyd couldn't breathe, which is why Sandra Bland is dead,
Right.
which is why Emmett Till. The list goes on and on. That's the curse. So that's same. And what's even heavier is that the same people that were saying that then are the same people that's in the Christian church now.
Right.
They're back again, doing the same thing again, just like you're back again, trying to serve the Lord again. That's what this is about. Because when the kingdom of heaven comes and people get put in their seat of, you know, so there's gonna be a Beyonce in the kingdom, you know, but how do you get to choose who deserves to be Beyonce and who doesn't? Because who obeyed the Lord.
Right.
That's how the Lord does it. You done did it a lot, generation after generation of trying to obey me. All right, now you can rule for forever, and then somebody else could work. You could be the owner of Sally's and have employees, because they're never going to be able to stop you from being that at that point. Just like right now, it's like the Waltons. You think the Waltons think they could be stopped? Only the Lord can stop the Waltons. That own Walmart.
Right.
There's nobody else that can stop them.
Right.
You're not gonna open your own business and get bigger than Walmart right now. You can't do it.
Right, but when it says, you know, it says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know what I'm saying? When you start learning the truth and accepting the truth, for one,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You gain all types of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom to keep you out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Obeying these laws, statutes, commandments, understanding that, you know what I'm saying, if you go to that New Year's party, the Lord just might kill you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or the Lord might send one of them straight bullets through your window and go to one of your kids' bedrooms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all because you care not to understand the truth or know the truth. You know what I'm saying? You will stay out of those Christmas parties. You will stay out of that, going to that firecracker stand. You know what I'm saying? Popping firecrackers in the name of a new year in a dead winter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You will understand, okay, well, a new year, I mean, if you that's common sense.
Right.
New, okay.
What's new?
I ain't cut my grass since October. You know what I'm saying? And it's still the same height.
Yeah, ain't nothing new.
But it start growing new again, you know, in the March,
in the spring,
April. You know, you got new flowers.
Passover time.
Yeah, you got new rabbits running down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, new things. You know what I'm saying? New plant life.
Right.
Then, but not in the dead of winter. How is that a new year? You know what I'm saying? That's when you start knowing the truth. It'll set you. It'll make you free.
Right.
It'll free your mind to where it's like it'll almost depress you, because it's like, man, a lot of my brothers and sisters are lost in the sauce.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about, to the point, like, I was so vexed at my slavery this past week. I mean, God, dog, like, and one of my coworkers, like, she had the spirit of wickedness on her tough. She bought everybody Santa Claus hats. She bought, you know, the kids, they got snacks, pizza, you know what I'm saying? She decorated they doors with wrapping paper, candy canes. Then she was having her talking about, yeah, we ought to go around and sing Christmas carols. Man, y'all go ahead. You know, just stay out of my unit with that crap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was vexed because, you know, then she walking around with a little radio playing the whitest Christmas songs. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't got the regular.
I probably would have let her made it if I heard the Temptations. You know what I'm saying? If I would have heard Blue, I probably would have let her made it.
She ain't even a Mariah Carey Christmas.
She was hitting the Frank Sinatras and all. Man, come on with all that stuff, man. Like, I was so vexed at work, man. But it was crazy, man.
And if I may, sir, what you're saying so heavy, like we want a culture. That's what it's about. Like, we want something to be like, you know what? I should feel something like I want to, what they say, the brotherly spirit, or Utah greetings, or whatever they, you know, like we want to push that, but we don't know how to push it for us.
Right. And the sad part about it, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You got it.
A lot of our people know that ain't Jesus' birthday.
Right.
They know it and don't care. I'm talking to some of the kids. They like, man, why you? Because they asked me, miracle. I was like, man, I don't celebrate that. Man, why you don't celebrate this? I say, man, it's nowhere in the Bible and blah blah this and blah blah that. So people, they walk by and hear me. Well, it's the celebration of Jesus, and then somebody else behind me like, Jesus wasn't born on that day.
Right.
Duh. Why you got a Santa Claus that don't need it? You know what I'm saying? They know it, but they just don't care.
And if I may, so what's so heavy is that it is in the Bible. And it was in there before Jesus existed. In the Old Testament. Telling us not to go after the way of the heathen.
Right.
It's in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2, I believe. Through like 2 through 3 or 4. And it's telling you how they do it. Right. It's breaking down the Christmas tree and telling you don't do this. And what we don't recognize, because we've been indoctrinated into Christianity and white supremacy so much, in the lies that they tell instead of the truth that we all in now, is that Christ was teaching that too. Christ was living, telling people not to celebrate Christmas.
Right.
But now you celebrate Christmas for Christ. That's how much of a devil the oppressor is. Christ was living, telling people not to celebrate Christmas because Christmas existed before Christ. Christ just taught the Old Testament. Christ said, I come not to destroy the prophets or the law. Everything the prophets were saying, Christ was saying. That's what he said it himself. Like, I'm not going against nothing that they were saying. They was telling you the truth. I'm just here to show you how it looked when you move in the right spirit. They was telling you the right thing, but they couldn't walk it like Christ did. That's what Christ came to do and sacrifice himself for all of us. So like you, son.
No.
We still got some more. Where we at on John? Yeah, if we could, let's get to Philippians 4 and 8.
Come. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren.
Right? You know
right.
when it was like,
right.
Hey, don't get it twisted. Paul was a real nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't, he wasn't an oppressor, he wasn't a Christian. He was a brother. Right. You know when a brother say finally,
right,
like brethren, it's like, hey, I'm talking to you. Like I'm letting like
the truth made him free.
Right, exactly.
Because at first, he was like we were. Yeah, he was like us. You know what I'm saying? He was oppressing people that followed the truth. You know what I'm saying? But it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
Hey, he's saying like, hey, you in the truth right now. Like what all the things that you like that, right? Like we like in the spirit, like let me take a step back. Like even before we was in the truth, a lot of us knew the Lord's Prayer. A lot of us, some of us even prayed the Lord's Prayer before we was gonna go do the most wicked of things.
Right.
Like you about to it's right now, today. His brother's about to go rob a gas station. They saying the Lord's Prayer.
Right.
They saying the Lord's Prayer right now. They finna right now. Somebody about to go hit a lick, and somebody about to go do something. They're saying the Lord's Prayer because they not in the truth. They don't understand what they saying. When you saying the Lord's Prayer, and you asking the Lord to forgive you for your debts as you forgive your debtors, you can't forgive the Lord. Why would the Lord forgive you if you don't forgive the people that you about to go? You planning on going robbing right now. Right. You planning on getting retaliation against somebody that killed one of your cousins, saying the Lord's Prayer, asking the Lord to forgive you, but you can't forgive them.
Right.
Why would the Lord do it? You asking the Lord to forgive you, but you can't listen to your mother and your father. You can't honor your mother and your father. You can't obey them. You asking the Lord to forgive you. You asking for all this from the Lord, but what are you doing for the Lord?
Right. forgive me what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? That's that perverseness we were talking
Right.
about early in the scripture.
Right,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? You know,
Deliberate.
Yeah, you deliberate.
You deliberately
You know
about to
what I'm
go
saying?
off.
The Lord knows my heart. Forgive me, Lord.
Right,
But he got to go.
right.
I got to get my vengeance. Damn what you talking about, Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's perverseness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the perverse. If I may, that's the perverseness that the oppressor taught us.
Right.
That's the spirit of the oppressor. Like when in the scriptures when it say like the Lord came to damn Cain, like, man, what did you do?
Right.
That boy Cain and murdered his brother.
Right. And one thing that you don't do, I mean, you will seek vengeance on your brothers all day. But when one of those oppressors kill one of us, let's forgive them, y'all.
You trying to pet their hair in the courtroom.
Yeah. You comb their hair, give them a Bible.
Right.
Let's forgive them, y'all. But y'all don't ride to Hippie Hollow neighborhood, whatever the neighborhood be called.
Rivercrest.
Yeah, Rivercrest.
River Oaks.
River Oaks. You don't ride over there and try to shoot up their block. But you tab all the black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? To where people want to move out so bad, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, we getting gentrified because you don't want to keep up grandma's house.
Right. We're so heavy about what you're saying too, sir. Like it was a different, like if you look, like one thing that they don't really talk about in history, like even though we understand the Black Panthers and all them groups in the 70s, they was able to be infiltrated by the COINTELPRO and the oppressor because they didn't keep the law. Right. They dealt with people they weren't supposed to deal with. They was doing drugs. They was, so the Lord wasn't with them essentially. But they spirit was much closer to the spirit that you should be in than the people of today. And that's what the oppressor recognized. They was like, hey, they too in tune with what's going on. They too in tune with the fact that they need each other. Let's put them on drugs and make them war against each other. You started having crack cocaine and you started having gang violence and you started having rap music all around the same time. All of those like rap music, and it wasn't like how Queen Latifah started off talking about UNITY. Right. You know what I'm saying? They went to more toward the damn NWA, not even past that, like how it is today with, you listen to music today, no white person listens to a black music and gets concerned because they know that they talking about black people. All them people you talk about killing, you're not talking about killing me. Right. You're not talking about killing us. You talking about killing another brother. You talking about killing another Hispanic. That's why they like it. Right. Because they wouldn't like it if they felt like white people was being threatened. Like, you know what? They talking about killing crackers on here. Right. And that's what they was on in the 70s. They had that spirit in the 70s. Like, it's us versus them. That's what they had right. They had the us versus them right, but they just didn't have the blueprint of how to go about it, which is the scriptures. Right. Like George, I don't know if people know about George Jackson. Right. George Jackson was, he was with I think Maya Angelou. You know what I'm saying? Like Soledad brothers. Look it up. The Soledad brothers. George Jackson had George Jackson was wrongly sentenced by a white woman, saying that he did something to this white woman. I can't remember right now. They locked him up and then they just held him indefinitely. Man, his little brother was 17. Kidnapped the white judge and taped the shotgun to the back of his neck. Walked to the damn jail like, y'all let my brother out. It didn't end well for nobody. Everybody got killed. Right. But you don't hear about that though. You don't hear about stories like that because just like Nat Turner and all them, like they was in the spirit, like, man, damn, it's really us versus them. But they didn't know how to go about it. Like we go and call the oppressor the devil every week all over the globe, every day. But you don't see us picking up arms again. We're not trying to do them no harm because vengeance of the Lord. Right. The Lord, the only one who's gonna handle that. We just pray that we able to serve the Lord and see it. So like it, son. It's some more now. Yeah, let's hit 9 too.
Verse 9, those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you.
He's telling them like, hey, everything about the like you see how you knew how I was in the world, just like us. Like Paul telling, like you were saying, like, man, I was wicked out here, I was running wild. But now look at everything good. Look at all the good. See all the love that I got from my brothers and sisters. See all the good things and do that. Don't do what I used to do. Like don't be the old man. Like recognize that we out here trying to follow after Christ and serve the Lord. Because the whole world is following after the oppressor. Because they scared not to. Like we talk about that Nick Cannon.
Right.
Like Nick Cannon, he got a little taste of the truth. Like he got some milk.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon got the milk and didn't know what to do with himself.
He got one discovery.
Right, he got one discovery, and then but he not the only. You got Deshaun Jackson. There's plenty of celebrities that went through the same thing. There's plenty of celebrities that was doing the same thing, got a little taste of the truth, and they was punished for speaking that. You could be anything in America. You could be a damn squirrel in America, but you can't be the real Jews of the Bible. Say you the real Jews of the Bible, the whole damn system gonna come on your head. But you could be a robot, you could be a squirrel, you could be a woman, you could be a man, you could be a man, woman, you could be anything. You can marry an animal, you can marry a horse.
Right.
You could do all that here, but you can't be the Jews of the Bible. Right. And that lets you know that that lets you know that they trying to stop you from something. If you can do everything but this one thing, why is that? Right. You can be everything but this, and that's how you know that the Lord is trying to tell you something. The Lord telling you like, hey, take it. It's your kingdom, but they're not gonna give it up. And taking it means you got to kill yourself. You got to kill that person you used to be. You can't. Hey, you know what? We're not gonna celebrate New Year. We're not going to the ball drop. Right. You know, we can't go to the ball drop. Are y'all finna have a birthday party? Okay. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow, on a regular day, like every other day.
Right. Yeah. We not going to the ball drop because we're not trying to get trampled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good night.
You know, because if one of them firecrackers don't sound like a, you know what I'm saying, sound like a firecracker, sound like a gunshot, then everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody gone.
You know what I'm saying?
And if I may too, what you're saying so heavy, it's record reports of them damn Christmas trees catching fire right now.
Oh yeah.
Them Christmas trees is burning up the neighborhoods. Right. Right. Well, right. Hey, get the Lord a hand. Right? Yeah. You thought everything was like, and that show you how selfish of the spirit they come into. They gotta have a tree where you give them gifts, and the Lord burning them, and that's how you know what time it is too. The Lord burning them trees up now. The Lord, this ain't the time to be selfish. This is the time to gather with your people and serve the Lord. Like have some compassion for your people. That's not an easy thing to do either. Like you look at and that's why Christ was such a perfect example. How much compassion did Christ have for sacrificing himself for all of us? Right. That was telling damn Pilate to kill him. Right. And when I say us, I mean our people, because if you hear you more than likely wasn't one of those people. Right. But that's the level of compassion we should all strive to have for each other. This the compassion Christ had for us. Like, yeah, they know not what they do, or say, you know. Right. They telling them to give me up and kill, and Christ suffered a gruesome torture. Christ was tortured. Right. Like, does any of us want to be tortured? Like, you want to be tortured for trying to do the right thing? That's the heaviest part about it. Like, you did everything right. Right. You do everything right, and you still go through it like that. And that's why Christ is the king. That's why there's no democracy in the kingdom. Christ already he did it already. We can't catch up. Just like you can't catch up to the Walmart family, you can't catch up to Christ either. Christ sacrificed. Christ did something that none of us could do in our previous lives. Christ was honest to a level that we wasn't honest with ourselves at, or the Lord. And that's and Barakatah Yahweh Yahawashi for even being able to have this understanding and this truth, to be in the truth, to recognize like, man, one of my ancestors did all this for me so that I could have a chance to have a seat of rulership in the kingdom. because just like the oppressor's kingdom, it's some regular white people with they driving a Volvo and a damn RAV4, and and they got a home with the double garage. You know what I'm saying? That sounds decent for me right now.
Right.
I don't have that. But in the kingdom though, all of you Black, Hispanic, Native American, you're gonna be in the kingdom. You got a RAV4. You got that Volvo.
The soccer mom band.
Yeah, you're gonna take your kids, and it's gonna be so much better than this.
Right.
But you aren't the ones that put in the work to make it happen. So you're not gonna be the owner of Sally's. You're not gonna be Beyonce. You're not gonna be the Jay-Z of the kingdom. You're not gonna be the person that everybody. You're not gonna be 21 Savage. You're not gonna be that person. But you'll be better off than you are here.
Right. You got those scriptures?
Oh yeah, come. If I could, let me get knock me out the box. It's some more. What we at? Verse 9. Did we read 9 already? Let me get Colossians 3 and 9.
No, this book Colossians chapter 3, verse 9. Lie not one to another.
Lie what?
Lie not one to another.
The scripture's telling us not to lie to one another. Not to lie to one another. But every time you tell your kid that damn Santa Claus finna come down that chimney, you're certainly lying to them. Every time you tell them they put that damn tooth under their pillow and the tooth fairy coming, you're certainly lying to them.
Right.
Every time you telling them, like, you know what, like, love everybody. You lying because everybody gonna love you. You're lying to them. You're lying to them. And the scripture saying what?
Lie not one to another.
Go ahead.
Seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds.
Seeing that we stopped doing everything we used to do.
Right.
Like, right now, the right thing to do. But it's like, even like you was talking about at the slave, like, you know what, like she buying on them Christmas hats, all this, that, and the third. Like, I'm not saying go to your slave and wreak havoc. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you should be wise as a serpent, but don't put the Christmas hat on though.
No.
don't like be it like a lot of times I recognize when I'm dealing with people that's outside the truth, the way that I show them more is by me being kind to them and not doing what they're doing. They expect me to be against them because I'm against what they're doing, but they don't expect me to have compassion for them, especially when it comes to our people. Like they expect me to come like a Christian would and say, you doing the wrong thing, you going to hell. Rather than just saying like, no, this is how I do it because the Lord say to do this, and I'm trying to listen to the Lord. I care about what the Lord says so much that I want to save my kids and I want to do this, that, and the third to save my family and my people. I want to get us out this condition, so I'm not going to do that. But I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but this is how I'm going to ask for me in my house. This is what I'm going to do.
We're going to serve the Lord.
We're going to serve the Lord. So, like let me get Matthew 5:37, Bubka shot.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
So it's like
cometh of evil. It's like
no, the scriptures is saying like stand firm on what you're saying. Like, let your yay be your yay and your nay be your. Don't say like, you know what, I'll go to this one Christmas party or this, that, and the third. Like, say, like, stand bold as a lion because you're not wicked and you got nothing to fear. Because when you say yes and when you say no, the Lord is standing behind whatever you're saying. Let your yay be your yay and your nay be your nay, because everything you doing is what the Lord wants you to do. That's what Nick Cannon wasn't able to do that. Nick Cannon said the Jews are black.
Right.
He said yay, but then he went back and said nay.
Right.
Now you know what, the Jews not black, because they put they apply some pressure on him. And the Lord telling us like, hey, don't like the scripture say, don't be double-minded.
Right.
Like, stand on what you're saying. Let your yea be your yea and your nay be your nay. Have compassion, but still stand on what you're saying. Just like Christ. Like Christ let people make it.
Oh yeah.
Christ let people make it.
Oh yeah.
They asked Christ about that woman, the adulterous woman.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Christ, what you gonna? They tried to catch him up too.
Yeah.
They thought they had him. Like, hey man, this woman right here, she got a husband, but she was doing her thing. What you gonna do with her? Christ, hey, you know what the scriptures say? Whoever y'all without sin, go ahead and get to it then.
Yeah.
Them boys started thinking twice, like, damn, if I throw that first stone, people start looking at me.
Yeah. So, you had that one brother in the back. They talking Christ. What you gonna do? Got that other brother, but he picking out the stone for Christ to throw. Like,
right, that was looking like dusting it, like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right, that boy grabbed the boulder.
Yeah.
Hey, here you go.
You know
He like, hey, no, Christ like,
man.
Man,
when he say, yeah, whoever without sin,
man, if you
first
right
stone.
with y'all, whoever ain't got no sin on them, go ahead and throw that joint. Them
And-
boys started thinking like, I don't
Right.
want to be the first, because they gonna start. Everybody gonna look into me.
Right.
Everybody gonna think about but you know what? Because I might get stoned right after this.
Right.
That's what they worried about. They worried about getting stoned their damn self.
And the spirit behind that was, you know what I'm saying, how, when, they was always quick to, punish somebody, you know what I'm saying, behind the law. But then, when Christ came, he showed, like he was saying, you know what I'm saying, Christ showed them the spirit
Right.
of compassion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and mercy. Because, you know what I'm saying, some people need a second chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We needed a second chance.
Yeah, we needed a second chance. We didn't deserve it, but
Right.
we damn sure got it, and thank the Most High for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was for, and they were all vexed to where they was like, I know I'm a hypocrite, so I can't throw the first stone.
Right. Them boys
You know what I'm
dispersed.
saying? Yeah, they just dispersed because
Right.
they already knew. You know what I'm saying? Sound like I want to keep reading.
Yeah, we still some more now.
Unless you want to go to 38.
Lie. Yeah, let's get Luke 6:31.
All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 31. As ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
Hey, that's the main one we always hear. Like you like in the world you hear I forget, they got some little saying.
Oh, that's the golden rule. Do
Yeah,
unto
the
others
golden
as
right.
you
The
have them do
gold,
unto
yeah,
you.
the golden rule. Do unto others as you, but we don't never do that.
Right.
You always want to be forgiven. You always want to you want people to understand, like, you know what, like that person was going through something. I should have some compassion on them.
Right.
But it's so hard for us to have that same compassion for one another.
Right.
It's so hard for us to have that same compassion for somebody that's going through what we're going through.
Right.
But it's easier for us to have that compassion for the damn oppressor.
Right.
It's because we slaves, because we've been indoctrinated into Christianity, because and that's because you believe that they your master.
Right.
You gotta answer to them. That you believe when you die, you finna answer to the white man. You believe that. And it's hard, and it's hard, like being a child growing up in the truth, it's a beautiful thing because you getting everything raw and uncut early.
Right.
But at the same time, you still got to deal with seeing all the other children having something that you feel like you want. You feel like, man, the other kids is getting presents. Why I'm not getting presents? The other kids celebrating their birthdays. Why I can't celebrate my birthday? And that's because you got parents that serve the Lord. And the Lord want to give you something that those children will never get in the kingdom. He want to give you, he want to make you, and he want to give you something to inherit.
Right.
You're going to inherit something that they can't inherit. Like, I came up, and most of us came up, we inherited nothing but debt.
Right.
Your parents didn't use your social already.
Right.
Like I'm about to say, I never paid. I'm now 13 with some light bill debts.
Right.
God damn, like I owe some light bills. Like I know I ain't never turned the lights on. But that's what we inherit in their kingdom. But you know, the Lord, He wants you to inherit. You know, like hey, go to your house on Mars. You know, you interstellar. You traveling on spaceships.
Right.
You got planet. You got houses. You got compounds on different planets. You got cities that you in charge of on this planet and this planet. This we can't even fathom that right now because we so stuck in oppression right now. We don't even recognize like, damn, they just went to goddamn space like a couple days ago. Was it Michael Strahan, damn Jeff Bezos? Then you know he was sent. It's people going to space. They taking trips into space right now. Like you in here trying to worry about how to make it to the bus on time to get to work,
Right.
but they going to space.
Right.
They going to space for recreation. And the Lord want to give you way more than that. Because you the Lord children. The Lord hates them and He letting them go to space and letting them ride around on Lear jets and own this and that and the third. What you think the Lord will give you when you obey Him? That's what this about. Don't get it twisted. Like why? Like whenever Christ says something, it's gonna count on the one kind. Hey, you know, I didn't die. Not only did I not die for the whole nation, I don't know that I could have. I don't know if I could die for the people that just try to get me killed.
That's tough.
That's a tough, right? I'm trying to. I pray the Lord put that in my spirit where I can be in that spirit. But right now, man, I don't know. Because even Christ was like, man, if it's any way that this cup could pass for me.
Right.
You know, I'll be trying to find every way from that cup to pass. I'll be like,
it'd be bad enough, man. You know, somebody try to get you fired at work. Then, all right, well, you ain't do this. You be coming late. You be still in time too. You be trying to drag everybody down with you.
Man, don't even cut me off in traffic. I be reaching for the blinky on them. Like, man, they done cut me off out here.
I don't know about taking one for the. I don't know about taking
one for the nation, right? You know,
man, that's
right, and that's what we all should be striving for. Striving to have that Christ compassion.
That's why you should obey what He says to do. Right? And He says, obey the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Observing these holidays that these heathens do. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? You can buy your son a PlayStation 5 any other day of the year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can get them cool grades any other time of the year. I want them too, brother. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? The fact is, we sell ourselves short, you know what I'm saying, because of the glory of this society. You know what I'm saying? We want what they want. You know what I'm saying? You know, they taking our culture and we taking their materialistic things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to embrace what, you know what I'm saying, that we already have in place. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't even care that we made Egypt great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't even care that we made all them other nations before time great. We don't even care that we made America great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, our persons want to get back to that, make America great again, because we was definitely at the bottom of their foot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we still holding on to their coattail trying to please them. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna let it go of their coattail and do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know how many people be in the hood, how many white people be in the hood at the soul food restaurants and the barbecue stand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't stay away from us, but we want to cling on to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just gonna let go and have a whole street full of taco trucks, barbecue stands, and oxtail joints.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be good. You know what I'm saying?
They love to have the ability to access whatever we create.
Right.
Like they have, like you can't access whatever they create.
Right.
They can access whatever you create. They love that ability. They love to be able to fly to the top of the stadium on their helicopter and walk down to their box and watch us compete at the highest level possible at anything. They love that. They love that. They like, you know, no matter what we do, they still have that ability. Right. They still got that ability. They eating whatever the best thing we could make. and they watching us compete, and we all doing, and we serving them while they do it.
Right.
We serving them.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Game of Thrones is gonna be totally different when Christ comes back. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? The
YAHANNA.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the Napashas. You know what I'm saying? The Yatazaks.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Until we get to that point, man.
Right. And if I may, like, the way we show that time should come is by doing what the Lord say and by following after Christ, having compassion for each other. Because right now, more than anything, we need compassion. Like, we going through hell out here, and trying to tell each other to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right.
Like you see somebody getting put out, your neighbor getting put out, you know, for 30 years, but you can't even let them make it for a couple days till they get on their feet. You done known goddamn Miss Mullins and such for 30 years, Miss Jackson, but they got evicted today. And you know what? It's kind of hard to if you know somebody lived next to you 30 years, you know them.
Right.
You know them. So you know if you could let them in or if you can't let them in. And if you could let them in, why shouldn't you let them in? Because you would want to be let in right then. But you like, man, it's like, man, I'm gonna have to sleep in the bed with both of my kids and get the other room up for them. You know, but the Lord gave you all that so that you could be in a position to do that for your people.
Right. And I just want to shout out my Israelite brothers and sisters because they kind of practice that. You know what I'm saying? I in the word I used to make fun of it. I was like, man, why is it 15 people staying in one house? Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, heck no. But what it is, you got 2-3 different families that'll work. They all working. You know what I'm saying? So once this family get on their feet, they move out and get their own. Then once that other family get on their feet, they busting the bills down. Like, and it's so lucrative. It's like all of them got a nice car. You know what I'm saying? You got the shortest Hispanic woman driving this big F-350, can't even see over the steering wheel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got nice cars. I ain't never seen an Israelite with a ragged car yet. I mean, they got some, but for the most part, man, and brothers, Judites, that's a big problem for us because we've been taught wrong. You know what I'm saying? We be fighting the first day. Somebody done drunk all the Kool-Aid and didn't make no more. So this family fighting with that family. Right. Well, we bought groceries last time, and your son ate up all the zebra cakes. Right. That's a whole. Right. That's a whole. We the stiff neck. Yeah, we the stiff neck, man. We've been moved out of each other already. Right. We the ones making the to-go plate before you make your regular plate. Right. Like the to-go plate's already on there. It's like, damn, we can't enjoy so now somebody gonna be hungry. And then you know what? You off with a stack, just running to the car. Like running to the car. That's because that's the spirit. And Christ, like it, when Christ was busting down 3 loaves of bread and you know what I'm saying, for thousands of people, the whole multitude. Right. But we got a whole thing, you got a whole thing you done prepared, but you can like 20 people can't eat, 50 people, 30 people can't eat. Right. Because we selfish. Right. I want to read the scripture. Go ahead. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 133. You want me to read it, sir? Yeah, go ahead. Hey, what's 133 and verse 1? Come on. This the book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Right. So I'm saying how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't be stopped. Right. You know what I'm saying? Divided we stand. United we stand, divided we fall. You know what I'm saying? We tighter than pantyhose, 2 sizes too small. That's like a little something. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I just keep reading. It says it's like precious ointment upon the head. Go ahead. Verse 2. It's like the precious ointment. Hey, shh.
It's like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments.
All right, David is recollecting. He's reflecting on times when the brotherhood was at its finest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they was winning wars, like nobody dying. I don't even think nobody was getting scratched.
Right.
To an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody lacked for anything. You know what I'm saying? If a brother on my left side needed something, and then it's coming down the line, so it's nothing being lacked. You know what I'm saying? If this brother, I mean, just how I was explaining, how Israelite brothers do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, with the houses. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to me now. You know what I'm saying? They'll buy a crack house. You know what I'm saying? I do floors.
Right.
You do roofs.
Right.
I don't want back there. He do plumbing and electricity.
Right.
So we all meet up one day, get a case of beer, and we build a whole brand new house in a matter of days. You know what I'm saying? That's what unity is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pulling
Right.
our resources together, helping each other out. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a brand new house, and you can start that cycle over and over again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I wish, you know what I'm saying, especially like, Judah, like we need to get on that fast. You know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about how, of course in the world, black people and Hispanic people, they bump heads. You know what I'm saying? But that is a beautiful functioning nation, man. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go to this brother, hey man, can you help me? I know you cold at doing roofs and
Right.
drywall or whatever, man. Can you help me? I just got this house down the street. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I come over there. Matter of fact, I come over there after Sabbath service. Boom. He gonna do the roof for me. I'm doing the floors. Then my uncle, whoever, come over and do the electricity and the plumbing. Week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks down the line, I got a brand new functioning house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I can bring some people in. You know what I'm saying? And help them out. You know what I'm saying? And the cycle keeps going. You know what I'm saying? Like probably about a few months from now, like we can have this big block party. Nothing but us.
Right.
Down the whole street. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, the Royale House, y'all bringing the lamb. Okay, they bringing the beef. All right, they bringing all the sides, and they bringing the cakes. Y'all bring the drinks. And we just sit out there and eat and enjoy each other, man. That's what unity is. You know what I'm saying?
And if I may, sir, what you saying so heavy too, like we could be locked up, but if you around your brothers, like it's like, damn, like you get locked up, you see it like a few of the guys,
right?
That joint is, oh man,
right?
That joint then ease the whole, like you back, like it's like you ain't even locked up now.
Yeah. You ain't locked up no more.
And that's what the scripture is saying. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Like no matter where we at, as long as we together, we good. And we in oppression right now.
Right.
But if right now in the truth, we are, man, good night. Like we are good. Like it's a beautiful thing to be able to just be around everybody that wants to serve the Lord, and everybody is here trying to get out of this captivity together.
Right.
Like trying to get out, it's different. Like when I play spades with my brothers and sisters in the truth, it's different than brothers and sisters in the world. Like it's like, man, I gotta worry about cheating, and you know what I'm saying? Like the table may get flat. I might have to box.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's keep it a buck. Like it might get real bad. Like and the truth is like, man, we here, we eating. If it don't matter, like any brother that come into school, if I got it, or any sister, you got it.
Right.
And that's because that's the love that I've been shown since being in the truth. And that's how I knew that this was the home of the truth, because that's what the scriptures say. That's how Christ did. Christ did it just like that. And that's how I knew. That's how everybody got to walk their own journey. But when I got here in the truth, I knew this was the place for me because I was like, this is like everybody is showing me the love that I would want. I would want to be shown. I don't want to, like, you know, when you somebody and you ain't got money, like when you a kid and you at the damn Six Flags and you can't pay for nothing.
Right.
You don't want to ever, like, you don't want people talking about the fact you ain't got money, but you still want to partake in everything they partake. It's like they just come back from getting churros and you just sit down, expect like let them do their thing, and then you got all of a sudden you got a churro.
Right.
Like, damn, now I'm getting on the ride. I didn't have no money to get here, but now I'm walking in too.
Right.
You everything that they got, you got. And nobody is talking about the fact that you can't provide.
Right.
Because that's what they would want too. That's the true care that they would want.
Yeah, but like, you know, brotherhood is a weapon, just like the shirt that I have on, man.
Damn right.
And that is one of the weapons that we need to keep sharp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, this is the glue to our nation being, you know what I'm saying, mended. So when Christ come back, you know, we'll be able to reign with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all like that.
If we could, let's get Acts 24 and 16.
Acts 24:16. All right, this is the book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 16. And herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense toward God.
Like, when you, Salaki, if I may, like when you exercise, you are like, you doing repetition. You're doing reps. That's what they call them.
Right.
Like, you're doing reps. Like, I'm doing these reps because I'm trying to build something. And right here, the scripture is saying, herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense toward the power. Like, you want to do reps of doing what the Lord wants you to do. Like, you want to build that strength up. I want to build the strength up of serving the Lord. So, like, you want to build the strength up so much that you prepared to do it with goddamn, you prepared like how it was with Isaac. You want to be prepared to give like Abraham. What was it? Abraham, right?
Right.
Abraham wanted the child so bad, you know. No, it was Isaac who got sacrificed at the altar.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to give up your child. You know, I've been asking for a child for so long, but the Lord said you got to sacrifice your child. Like, you want to have enough reps in where it's like, damn, the Lord telling me to just go against what I wanted my whole life.
Right. Like,
then the Lord's saying, like, it's time to, I need you to do this. It's like, I need you to do the hardest thing that you could do. You want to have enough strength built up where you could say, kind on one kind. You want to have enough strength where you got built up where you can obey any order the Lord asks you to do. Like, a lot of sisters have a problem with multiple wives hearing the truth. A lot of sisters, like, it's in the scriptures. Like it says in the scriptures that you're gonna have a problem. You may have a problem, but you want to build enough reps up where the Lord is saying, like, man, you might have to raise up a rib of your husband that's not in the truth. What if your husband got a rib that was in the world? Are you prepared to bring her in the truth? So that you could please the Lord so much that you could be damn the Beyonce of the kingdom or whatever you want to be. I don't know, Martha Stewart. You want to have a home. You want to have your own cooking line. You want to be the top chef. I don't even know what's a top model.
Oprah's book club.
You want to be Oprah of the kingdom. You want Oprah's book club of the kingdom. What you gonna show the Lord that? Why do you deserve it? Why do you deserve that? And why don't you deserve to just be, you know, Susie, the shift manager?
Right.
Why you don't deserve that? That's because we all got to put in work, and the work is different. Your sacrifice is different than Officer Rom's sacrifice. That's Officer Rom's sacrifice is different than damn General Muhammad's sacrifice.
Right. Everybody's
sacrifice is different. But we can't like, hey, Christ didn't sacrifice it all. The ultimate sacrifice. So who are we to say our sacrifice is too much? Because Christ already, like, it's like, you know, I've been playing I've been trying to do the little, you know, the household game. Been playing the Mario Party. It's like when you come in first. Like once you make it first, you already done. Everybody else still racing. Christ came in first already.
Right.
Christ is done. We still racing for our places. Christ already won, and he deserved to win. And it's like we should be happy because him winning means we have a chance to win too. Because if he lost, all of us lost. If Christ wouldn't have been able to do that, hey, we'd have been. You was smoking weed. Shing. You're done. You're done, son. Right. Just like Sis said, you're done. Oh, you was out there twerking on OnlyFans?
Right.
Shing. Oh, you thought you was providing for your kids, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You thought you was making a better life for your kids. I understand. Now your kids dead. That's how the Lord will do. Now you ain't got no kids. Go ahead and keep twerking on OnlyFans now. That's how the Lord will do you. You think you got it figured out? If you don't listen to him, it's done. It's just like, it's nothing my 1-year-old daughter. Let me rephrase it, because she teach me a lot. She teach me a lot about dealing with her, but it's nothing she could teach me about what I've already understood to this point about how to go about navigating through the world.
Right.
It's nothing she can't teach me, like, you know what, like, go ahead and preheat the oven to 450 this time.
Right.
You know what, like, teach me how to. She can't teach me that type of stuff. That we can't, you know. I'm not gonna say Christ taught the Lord something, because that's not in the scriptures, but and Christ definitely, you know, pleaded to the Lord for us. Like, I'm glad that he did, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a chance at avoiding the second death that, you know, I do not want to go through, because the scriptures say that the day Christ returns is going to be a dark day. That's what you know. That's the difference between the truth and Christianity. Christianity teaching you like Christ's going to come back and it's going to be naked babies flying and everybody going to be singing.
Flowers everywhere.
Flowers, a day of light. The scripture says it's going to be a day of darkness. Christ coming back is Christ is coming. Like it say his vesture going to be dipped in blood. Like that's a dark day. That's a dark day. And if you were young, like, man, I'm gonna talk I got brothers when I came in the truth, like brothers in the world, and I came in the truth, and we did what we did in the world together. And when I came back to see them, like, you know, years after I had been in the truth, I had found out that a lot of them was dead, a lot of them was locked up. One of them even killed his lady and then committed suicide right after. And we got to recognize that this is, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Like, it's simple to listen and obey the Lord, but it's not always easy. It's not a hard thing to battle everybody because you know that you're right. That's like you gotta exercise and train yourself to be ready to go against the whole school, the whole football team, the whole basketball team. You gotta be able to battle. It's a spiritual battle.
Right. Like
you battle, like this ain't nothing physical that you could do. You in a spiritual warfare. And the only way that you can prepare yourself is do these righteous exercises.
Right.
You gotta lift up you gotta train. You gotta train. It's okay.
Finish it.
Yeah, Baba Kashasa.
And toward men.
So it say, if you could read it from the top, Baba Kashasa.
Come. And herein, this is Acts 24:16. And herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense towards God and toward men.
You want to practice to not offend the Lord and to not offend anybody.
Right.
You don't want to, like, you don't, you can't always get along with everybody.
Right.
but you want to try.
Right.
You want to certainly try. Like you don't. Do you want to war with the police? Does anybody want to go like?
Right.
But at the same time, if the police tried to get you to eat a damn bacon burger, we gonna go to war.
Right.
They gonna give you that damn bologna salami sandwich. Like I don't know, everybody been locked up. Them sandwiches ain't always lawful.
Right.
Them sandwiches is not lawful.
Nah.
So you could go a long time without eating.
Right.
you could go a long time without eating. That's you going to war with them.
Right.
That's a spiritual war. They trying to make you eat after a while. Like, you don't eat for long enough. They trying to make you eat. They don't want you to just die now.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, you can't die.
Right. So exercise to try to not use Matthew 18 and 15 all the time with your brother.
Right.
Or them against you. You know what I'm saying? That law is in place, if somebody offends you or you offend them. You know what I'm saying? Exercise ourselves in your conscience not to even try to use that because it's just not offend. Of course sometimes, you may not know that you offend them. You know what I'm saying? And that's when that law applies, that's when you say Salaki. I didn't try to offend you, whatever I need to do to make amends, I do it. Then you gain a brother. But you out there, causing alts, and purposely offending your brothers is not the goal. All right.
And if I may, sir, like what you're saying is so heavy. There's a spirit you can be in to prevent getting into offenses.
Right.
Like, a lot of women, I'm not talking about the truth. In the world, like, hey, you can't even, you walk in looking too good, What does she think she doing? Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can counteract that spirit from the jump.
Right.
You can not try to offend anybody. And you could be like, you know what? I want to look good too. And so maybe I should just compliment her on how good she looked. And maybe she'll show me how I can look better.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? Like, how you get your lips to shine that shiny? Like,
Right.
I don't know what I be putting Carmax on. It don't do it like that. Like, you know what? Like, maybe I should, Like, instead of just being like, you know what? She looking like a hoe.
Right.
Like, you know what? She out here.
Oh, skank.
Right. It's like, have some compassion for one another. Like, have some compassion. And you know what? Like, for the brothers, the young brothers, gird up your loins. Like, it's not easy being honest, but everybody respects you when you keep it 100. That's why everybody say, like, keep it 100. Keep it a buck, keep it 1,000. Because it's a level of respect you deem when you say when you be truthful to the point that against everybody that's in the room, you get points for that respect.
Right.
You get some points for being that truthful amongst men. Like real men, they deal in respect. Like Officer Ram right here and myself, we respect one another. Like I respect him as a man. We respect even people in the world. We respect them. We understand that they are ignorant of the truth. They don't know what's right from wrong. But I'm still gonna have respect for them. So when you dealing with other, like it's gonna be a time. Like this is always gonna be a time where you clash, where you going against, you on the opposite side of somebody. But you being 100% honest is always going to deem that you deserve respect for that. I have to respect it. So like, yeah, anything else you want to? Any questions in the room? Any questions online? Like I said, feel like any questions. It don't even have to be about the scriptures. We all brothers and sisters in here. Like any questions you got, like you might be dealing with something that somebody else need to hear you ask so that they can get over what they getting over.
Right.
Like sometimes your question ain't just for you. If the Lord put a question on your spirit, You might be asking it for somebody that bring them in the truth. So is any questions at all? I know you ain't got no questions. Okay, let's check online. Any questions online? See anything?
I don't see nothing on Facebook. Let me check YouTube right fast.
If not, I'm gonna get one more scripture before we get up out of here. If there ain't no questions.
Wow, we too hard.
Let me, if I could, let me get 1 Peter 3:10. Papa Kasha.
All right, this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 10. For he that will love life.
For he that will what?
For he that will love life.
See, we got to understand that there's like loving life is something deeper than what you just like YOLO. Like loving life is loving keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because keeping the law is life, and not keeping the law is death.
Right.
So if you love life, if you love serving the Lord, go ahead.
And see good days.
And you want to see good days because you understand that the only way you're gonna get anything out of living is by obeying the Lord. Go ahead.
Let him refrain his tongue from evil.
Let him what?
Refrain his tongue from evil.
Let him refrain his tongue from evil. And that go to sisters too. A lot of the language of the Bible is speaking to men because of the rank and order structure of the Bible. You get in 1 Corinthians, I believe, was 10:3. But you get it's the Most High, it's Christ, it's man, it's the woman, then it's a child. So you getting the word of the Lord speaking to men because that's just the rank and order of it. So it applies to women as well. So go ahead, sir.
Come. And his lips that they speak no guile.
So it's saying, let him refrain from his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. You don't want to gossip. You don't want to lie. That's speaking evil. You want to everything you do, you want it to be prosperous to you and to your nation. You want it to be righteous, exactly. Get a sister a hand. That's exactly what you want. You want to speak righteousness into the world because you live in a world of wickedness. You live in a world where they're saying, it's so many evil sayings. It's like pick one. It's like, like people trying to catch bodies.
Right.
Like you lying to people you care about. Like this world is a world of darkness because it's ruled by lies and deceit. We want a world of light ruled by the truth. We want Christ to rule over us because you know why? He deserves to rule over us. He sacrificed himself for us. You don't want to argue with Christ like, man, I should be in charge. Why didn't you sacrifice yourself for everybody? Why didn't you had so many lifetimes to try to sacrifice yourself for everybody, but you never did it? Right. Like, why do you deserve to be in charge? And that's why that's what the Lord is doing right now. He's sifting everybody. That's the wheat and the tares. The wheat growing up with the tares so that they could be separated at the end. The Lord is having all of us grow. He got the wicked and the righteous and everybody growing together so that when we get to that day, everybody gets separated. It's like, okay, this go over here, this go over there. What have you done to deserve any type of compassion and judgment? What do you care about? Because a lot of people only care about riches and wealth and they own Their own damn satisfaction. That's what a lot of people care about. But if you care about serving the Lord and you care about your people, maybe you deserve more.
Right.
Maybe you deserve more. Go ahead, son. Bible shop. You got it.
Okay. You want to go to
First
11?
Peter, yeah, go all the way to 12.
Okay. Verse 11. Let him eschew evil and do good.
Let him eschew evil and do good. You want to, like, when people is lying and saying something wrong, you stand against that. You stand against it. It's not always easy, but that's like, for sisters. What was that? The Book of Susanna with the two old pervs.
Yeah.
They tried to catch her up.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They tried to trap her. Like, man,
Right.
hey, you better.
I forgot what they said.
Right, they said something so right. They said something so wicked. Like, man, you gotta. I was about to say strip for us or something. I know it ain't say that.
Give us a box or something.
Yeah, they said something wicked. Like,
expose you.
Go ahead, sis. Give it a mic, Bubba shot.
If you don't say this, if you don't follow if you don't do what we do, then basically we're gonna go.
Yeah, right. If you don't go along with how, like, you don't go along with what we want, we gonna throw, like, and they caught each other before that. Like,
they caught.
That was the first OnlyFans right there. They was the original OnlyFans. They was watching. Are you watching it too?
Yeah.
Like, man, we need to. They like, if you don't listen to us, you know what I'm saying, we gonna lie to the whole nation. We priests. Like, what was they? They was like, we gonna tell they gonna believe us. We gonna say you was cheating on your husband with this other man.
Right.
I can't remember what they wanted her to do. They were like,
they wanted to lie with her.
They wanted to sleep with her, right?
Right.
Yeah, they was. Yeah, man. They, and she had to stand up tall. Right. Like, she like, man, I either sleep with him and I got the Lord against me, or I tell them no and I got them lying and everybody gonna believe them and I'ma still go down. Like, it was a lose-lose.
Right. That's a hard choice, man, because in that situation the woman is always gonna be against the odds in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And that was a tough thing that she pulled off too. The Most High was definitely with her. Right, damn right. Daniel had to fall through. Yeah. Like, nah, hold on.
He's like, y'all just gonna let it go down like this? Right. And that's how the Lord will do it too. Like you thinking you could, like, we can't map this out. Like, it's like you can't plan everything. Like, you don't know how you thinking you know how you breathing right now. The Lord set that up. Like, you think you know what H2O is? You know what water is? You know you're gonna die without water, but do you think you know what water is? The Lord made that. Like, you can't plan this. This is the Lord doing this. And the Lord did that for that sister, and he delivered that sister and took care of them two old perverse damn wicked ass Salaki. Right. Go ahead, sis. Give it a mic, Baba Shah.
Some women in the world,
make sure the mic.
Was it on?
They would
okay.
They would fall into that, like, it's like a prideful thing too, right?
Right.
Like, they live in pride. Okay, you know what? Let me just go ahead because nobody's gonna believe me anyway.
Right.
Like, you're right. That what the sister did was righteous. She's like, you know what? If I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall, knowing that I know I didn't do it. So. And then look what the Lord did.
Right, exactly. Right, this is in hand. Because, like she said, that's so heavy. Because it's like she said, "Let me fall." Like the scripture said, the pride come before the fall.
Right.
The pride come before the fall. And that's exactly what it is. They prideful. They let the, you know what? I'm gonna go down either way. But this sister right here, she wanted to go down serving the Lord. She cared more about serving the Lord than doing her own thing. It's a morning sluggy. We went to 12 already.
No, I just reread 11. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it.
Let him seek peace. Like you trying to, like this, like that's why we say shalom. Like shalom is peace. Like you want peace. Like that's one thing blacks, Hispanics, and natives have never, not never, but haven't had in a long while. We haven't had peace. Like we don't even record. Like I be thinking about it sometimes. Like man, I'm so used to chaos that it's like I don't want peace.
Right.
Like I'm trying to train myself to be peaceful. That's what the truth has done for me. Like we was talking about earlier, like in the world, smoking weed and popping pills and having all type of sex with whoever, that's regular. That's like just like I drink water. That's something you would naturally do. Like, you know, coming from certain places. It's much harder to discipline yourself to control every urge that you have. It's much harder to care about your people so much that you change who you are.
Right.
That's the harder part. It's easy to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just YOLO. Like, you know what? Right now, I want to do this. I want this. It's much harder to not do what you want and do what the Lord asks of you than to just go ahead and fall victim to your flesh. That's why the scriptures say the flesh warreth against the spirit. Because you always got like everybody want to sleep with everybody. You know what? Hey, I'm so attracted to this person right now. You got into a fight one time with your damn wife or your husband, and the first person you meet, you damn near ready to sleep with them.
Right. Right.
Like, man, you know what? The Lord did this.
Right.
That's your damn flesh.
That's a classic distraction. And that's how a lot of our brothers, but a lot of our sisters become, you know what I'm saying, lesbians. Because you know,
right.
some of them lesbians, they know how to key in on a vulnerability like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they see them all niggas ain't nothing, you know, and blah, well, girl, you know, blah blah this and blah blah that, and you know, you don't need him, and well, I guess you're right. I'm gonna just live for me now, and you know, next thing you know, you at the pride parade.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying?
Good night, my mate. So what you saying so heavy too? A lot of them, they know how to key in it because it happened to them.
Right.
They don't want to, like a lot of these homosexuals and lesbians don't want to admit that they've been done wrong. They've been molested. They've been taken advantage of. Like you can look up the statistics. They show that they have went through a trauma that causes them to perpetuate that trauma. And now it's easier for them to do it to somebody else and say, like, this is just how I am, rather than to say, you know what, I was a victim.
Right.
You know what, I was done wrong.
Verse 12. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous.
For the what?
For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous.
Why is the scripture saying the eyes of the Lord is only over the righteous? Hey, shh. The eyes of the Lord is over the righteous. Everybody think that the Lord is with them all the time. They saying the Lord know my heart, this, that, and the third, but the scripture said the eyes of the Lord is over the righteous. If you're doing what the Lord say, he's looking at you. It's like, okay, I should watch this person. I should watch everybody else is just like you firewood, basically. You somebody that's gonna burn up. Like, why should the Lord be looking at you? The eyes of the Lord is over the people that's looking to do what the Lord say. The Lord, you know, the scriptures say the Lord don't hear the prayers of sinners. Like that's something a lot of people don't want to acknowledge.
Right.
People don't want to acknowledge, like everybody in here, Not everybody. The majority of everybody in there was a sinner. We was all sinners. But we don't continue to live in sin, no. Somebody I don't want to brought out earlier in Hebrews, they sin willfully after receiving the knowledge.
Right.
The eyes of the Lord is over the righteous. And who are the righteous? The righteous are the ones that do what the Lord say.
Right. And
Like-
escheweth evil.
And escheweth evil. And you gotta be built different to follow the Lord. That's like it's just plain and simple. Like we was taught that the Bible was about soft people and like white people and oppressors and that. But this is really a book about stand-up niggas.
Right.
Niggas that stood up tall to serve the Lord. Like, is you able to go against everybody for the Lord? Are you able to be like, you know what? I don't care what nobody talking about. The Lord said this, and I know He with me. So I'm ready to go against all of y'all. Like, everybody not built like that. Which is why Nick Cannon, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he did all that, and then he lost his son to damn brain cancer or something like that. Yeah, he said all that, and that's what's so heavy about that scripture you brought out, because it was like it was no more sacrifice for him. He got the knowledge. You know what? All right, now you got exposed to the knowledge, and you said something about it, but you went against it. You went against it to save what you had.
Because he loved his money more than the Lord.
Because he loved his money more than the Lord. And what did the Lord do? He took his son. The Lord took his son. Like, okay, what you doing all this for? I'm trying to build all this money up so I could get my son right. Now you ain't got no son.
Right. Your sacrifice is for nothing because
now you did all that. Now you ain't got no son. Is you gonna come back to me? And that's how the Lord the Lord don't bargain. The Lord is get down, do what I say, or suffer the consequences.
Right.
That's all it is. And we learning the consequences right now of not doing what the Lord said. And some more that's like.
God, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
But the face of the Lord, so if you righteous, the ears of the Lord is open to your prayers. It's multiple scriptures saying that. The Lord is listening to you if you're trying to do what He say. Like the scriptures say, a righteous man or a righteous woman falls 7 times. What do that mean? Do that mean like I know I got 6 more tries? Right? It ain't you trying to count. No, the Lord, like you trying to serve the Lord the whole time. You trying to do the right thing the whole time. But the Lord understand that this ain't easy. It ain't meant to be easy. Because that's what makes you stronger. Like working out ain't easy. Like that damn Olympic, like the man that broke all the women's Olympic records, was that easy? It was easier for him because he was given abilities by the Lord to do certain things. But was it easy, period? And that's why the women have a problem with it, because they know how difficult that is to beat all his records. They like, man, we can't do that. Like, he's not even a woman now. Before he was a woman. He ain't a woman no more. I don't think he's a woman now. Like, he's not a woman now. Because it's not easy to do that. Just like it's not easy to serve the Lord. But it's simple, though. It's simple. Like Job. Job is a perfect example. Like the Lord was chopping it up with Satan. Like, Satan, man, what you done been doing? He's like, hey, I've been going to and fro, He's like, man, you done looked at Job out here? Man, Job under your protection.
Right.
So like, he was like, man, like the Lord saying, like, man. So Job was like, man, but I could make him denounce you. He was like, all right, do what you got to do. Just don't kill him. Go ahead, sis. Use the mic, Baba Kashab.
And Salaki, if I Hey, there's a scripture also where it says that we get tried through the furnace. Like,
The furnace of affliction, right?
Right.
That's what that burns out the impurities in you. Like if you got gold and you trying to like if I'm making a necklace, I gotta melt it down. I gotta get pure gold, and that's what we being turned. Hey, we being turned into the purest version of ourselves. That's what we are all being tried in the furnace of affliction. That's what this is about. You being tried to see if you deserve the seat that the Lord wants to give you. The Lord want to like the Lord wants to hand out bonuses. He want to give bonuses. What's the little thing they be saying? Like you get a car or something little like
Right.
yeah, the Lord want to hand everybody one. Like you get a house, you get a car. But why do you deserve it though? Like why you deserve it? Because we all got to go to trial for everything we did. We just want Christ to plead for us. Like, you know what? They did do all that.
Right.
But once they knew, though, they did this. She brought this sister in the truth. She gave this sister, you know what I'm saying? You know, a chance to make it and serve the nation. She did all this.
Right.
She loved her husband so much that she sacrificed this. That's what the Lord, Christ, you want Christ to plead for you. Like you don't want to be arguing like, I deserve this. Like that's like one big thing a lot of people got it with the damn like the whole phenomenon of the Kevin Samuels. It's a whole bunch of women asking for something but not willing to give up nothing.
Right.
Well, I want a man with no kids and he makes 6 figures, but I got 4 kids and I don't make nothing.
Right.
Like, damn, man. Then what? They get mad because Kevin Samuels get a dog in them.
Right.
Get the dog and like, well, you sound, like, they get that's basically what it is. Like that's the whole dynamic of it. Is Kevin Samuels right for doing that? No, he don't have compassion, and no, he's not in the truth. And yes, he's a homosexual and all that, you know what I'm saying? But is there any truth to like we're looking at what it is though? These sisters still like they still not in the right spirit. They don't like you got 4 kids, but you want a man with no kids, and he giving you all his money. What do you deserve to get that? Why do you deserve that? And the Lord gonna take that to a whole nother level. Why do you deserve the kingdom of heaven? Why do you deserve to have a high seat in the kingdom?
And what you're saying is like this, especially verse 12, it's heavy
Right.
because, you know what I'm saying, when it says, for the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, you know what I'm saying, like you said, the righteous are the ones that follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and his ears are open to their prayers, you know what I'm saying? So I got a precept for that, and this is Proverbs 28:9. It's amazing how like this book just line up,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, when you're teaching the truth. This is Proverbs 28:9. It says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination, So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? While we out there on the street corners or even in these classes, or we just having general talk with anybody, and you turn your ear away from the Lord and hearing his law, even your prayers will be an abomination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you praying about you getting that man with this six-figure income and no kids, a body like whatever and whatever you like.
You fat, he gotta be goddamn
Right.
LeBron and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you end up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you robbed that bank for that $50,000.
Right.
But then you get caught up on a jaywalking ticket. Now you're in jail, and then they find out that you robbed the bank. Now, you know what I'm saying? Your prayers are not gonna be answered. You know what I'm saying? They're abomination. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got.
Hey, no, what you're saying so heavy, sir, because that's something we don't like being indoctrinated into Christianity. We don't recognize that the Lord is not compromising.
Right.
Like you think like, man, he gonna like everybody else. Like, first off, the damn oppressor not compromising. You can't like, I mean, I was coming up, damn Ishmael You can't even get a bag of chips if you missing 3 cents sometimes.
Right.
Like don't be short on that tax. You ain't getting no chips. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
Why the Lord got to compromise? And he want to give you the damn planet. He want to give you rulership.
The Lord change not.
And the Lord changed not. The Lord ain't finna change. Because he said he wasn't gonna change. Like we made in the image of the power. Like meaning that we have the ability to discern. Like, we're not like animals. Like we can see something right and we can see something wrong. We not animals. So us being made in that image, we can see that what the truth is and what a lie is. And a lot of us follow after the oppressor knowing that he's lying. Because we don't have integrity. That's what it is. We're not ready to stand up. And sometimes the integrity happen with people like most of the time, the integrity is gonna have to kick in with people that you care about. You're gonna have to stand up to people like, you know what? Hey, sis, I feel like this is gossip. I feel like we doing a little bit much right now.
Right.
I feel like you just told me something I don't think I should have heard. And that was not the right thing to do. And I might have to take you to counsel, but I think you should still do this. And we still might go to counsel. Or you know what? With a brother, hey, Salakia, I don't, you know what? You saying something, but I don't feel like that was, I don't feel like that was really some stand. I don't feel like you wasn't standing right. We all, like the scripture say, a righteous man. They don't mean that brother not of the Lord or the sister not of the Lord. But you now in the position to correct that wrong. You in the position to stand, and it's like like I was saying with the Mario Party, you might just bump up and you might just jump in rank on somebody. Now you you now in third place. You just jumped up. That's just. It's not always easy, but it's simple.
Right.
It's simple. Do the right thing. Do the right thing, and it's not like Spike Lee either. You hear something? And with that, like, hey, pay your tithes. Like, we say that all the time, but so much, like, you don't recognize that paying your tithes helps build the kingdom. Like, that's a form of compassion too. Like, if you got enough to help somebody else, they got nothing. If you got $10, your tithes is $1. That $1 could get somebody one burger that was about to die of starvation. We don't look at it like that because we so used to coming up in a damn wicked society with, like, led by the oppressor. But Commander General YAHANNA, like, the mission to Acuna to feed the Haitians and do that's Commander General YAHANNA.
Right.
We don't have nothing to gain other than that than serving the Lord and caring about our brothers and sisters. You pay your pastor weekly, and what does he do? He buys a damn jet in a Rolls Royce and yachts. Like the water says, right? Not a yachts and basket yachts. You don't even know what a basket yacht is, right? Is that right? You like, man, is it a basket? Them paintings. That's a painting. Right. They buying islands because this is their kingdom. This is their kingdom. You got to recognize that. Like, you want to see the kingdom of heaven, which is Christ ruling. You know anything, son?
That's it.
Most High Christ. And with that, we're gonna pass the class over to Trooper Yabakon. Give my hand.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, third out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves over the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 to 21, and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. Mayasharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like. Upcoming holy convocation, Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday, 14th of February, and Tuesday, 15th of February, 2022. Esther, 9 and 20 through 31. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements. Separate announcement. Brothers and sisters, Google search the school and request directions prior to departure to the school. Once arrived, click the website button. If you have pictures, you can upload them here. And that concludes the announcement.
And with that, Amadia, which means to stand. Gonna do a courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel, Ma'an Shabbat, Mahdi, Barak,
How about Shem Yahushua Rakatah?
Yad Yamatah, Sar. Courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Ma'an Shabbat, Mahdi, Barak,
How Shemal Atah by Shem Yahushua?
Yad Yamatah, dismissed.